everyone. I hope you're doing well. In this episode, I will show you the monthly bloomers for November of 2025. This will be part 1, showing the large and standard African violet varieties, and there will be also one plant that is a relative of African violets here far back. Not all of the plants that I will be showing you today are growing on this particular stand. This stand has a regular shop light with LED bulbs. There will be plants from other plant stands as well. Some of them have the same light fixtures and others have Barina grow lights. They're all covered in the All My Lights video. I will include a link in the description box in case you'd like to check it out later. We'll start here with Happy Harold. This is a constant bloomer for me, single dark wine pansies and variegated foliage. This was one of the first few varieties that were developed after the very first variegated variety, Tommy Lou. This one was developed about a decade later by Harold Reinhardt, and it's called Happy Harold. It's in desperate need of repotting. You can see some older leaves here have already damage caused by simple aging, nothing to worry about. And I might make a video of repotting of this particular violet because it's so outgrown. So stay tuned for that. Next here is one of my favorite Cajuns. Cajun's Fascinating Fury, developing a very good symmetrical crown and very beautiful variegated leaves. It did start having fantasy on the blooms, and sometimes it has more pink fantasy pattern on the dark purple background, and sometimes it doesn't have much, but this one still is very beautiful and I love it for the beautiful growing habit. Far back is a No ID violet that has been with me for a while. It was featured in 5 Easy Steps of Bringing New Violets Home video. I got it when I lived in California from the local nursery, Green Thumb Nursery, and it's been with me since then. It has beautiful foliage, dark green, easy grower, and the blooms that I like very much because not only they have intense dark purple color, but also very distinctive frilled green edge around the petals. And No ID. Next is a vintage variety by Betty Bryant called Anne. I call her my prima ballerina. Sometimes I give nicknames to my African violets. I call her that because she has the most spectacular foliage variegation and the growing habit that keeps me amazed all the time because it keeps on growing very symmetrically, and it loves the shelf here in the well-lit south-facing room, even though I keep shades on it most of the time. So mostly it has LED light from these daylight fixtures, but it also enjoys some of the natural light throughout the day. And by Betty Bryant. It's 16 inches across at the moment. Next is a Ukrainian hybrid by Olena Lebedska called LE-Sedoi Graf. It has variegated foliage that is very easy growing for me, and the blooms have different shades of lavender and dark lavender and some kind of bronzish gray and some green even on the older blooms as they mature, and also green frilled edge around the petals. LE-Sedoi Graf. Here is one of my favorite Buckeyes, Buckeye Nostalgia. This is a young plant. Very pale, soft blue blooms, very light pale blue, and beautiful variegation. And finally, this is not an African violet. This plant is called Episcia, and this one, this variety is called Lil Lemon. I love this variety because it has not the regular orange or red blooms like other varieties, or most of the other varieties, but this one has pink, peachy pink blooms with some yellow throat, and velvety looking dark green with light sage green center leaves. And here is another set of African violet standard varieties here. We'll start with these two. They were produced by the same hybridizer, Konstantin Morev. One is a hybrid, this one. It's called Moroznaia Vishnia, and it translates to English as frosty cherry. And next to it is not a hybrid, it is a seedling by the same hybridizer called Morev's seedling Mazurka. Сеянец Морева, Mazurka. Mazurka is the name of a dance. So you can see them side by side because they do look somewhat similar, but they do have some differences both in the growing habit. This one tends to grow larger. Right now it needs to be repotted because, as you can see, the central leaves started growing smaller in size, but normally they grow larger than frosty cherries leaves. And this one grows more compact, and both of them can grow symmetrically. Here they are side by side. Mazurka has more petals in the blooms. They are full double blooms, and it's more temperature sensitive than frosty cherry. Frosty cherry does have less pigment in the cooler growing environment, but not to the extent like Mazurka. Mazurka can be almost white, almost no pigment in cooler growing environment. Here is a hybrid by Kathy Heiner called K's Summer Plum Smash. It has beautiful kind of plum colored blooms with some purple fantasy. This is Ian-Kapriz by Natalia Puminova. Beautiful variegation and very unusual blooms. They're white with green bronze frilled edge. Here is a new variety for me in full bloom. This is the first blooming cycle. It's called Fredette's Sweet Jenny. Very unusual blooms, very beautiful. Kind of pale pink or creamy white. It's hard to capture the main color. And lavender pink edge around the petals. And these are double blooms. The bloom stalks grow tall in my conditions. And the leaves are dark green with red reverse. Here is EK-Nebesnaia Lazur by Елена Korshunova. It translates to sky azure. This is the first blooming cycle. They're lavender blue with some raspberry purple and green penciled edge. Plain medium green leaves. Next is my super bloomer in this month, Ness Cranberry Lace. It was recently featured in the shorts features. In full bloom. It has bright fuchsia blooms that are double, and the reverse of the petals is very light color, so it creates an effect of like a frilled pencil edge on the petals. Excellent symmetry and an easy grower. I think this particular hybrid is very underrated. It has been the best grower for me, one of the best. Next is Funambule, variegated foliage and fantasy blooms with dark blue and pink and some white fantasy. And in front is the registered sport from Funambule, Ma's Wicked Witch. This is the mother plant, and this is a sucker from the mother plant that I had rooted. I was curious to see if it blooms true, and it does bloom true. So the bloom chimeras, they're known not to propagate true from leaves. They need to be propagated either from bloom stalks or from the suckers of the main plant. So this one is a sucker blooming true.